Ever wonder why some people seem to have a secret cult to life, turning every situation into an opportunity? The key is their mindset, a mindset you too can adopt by embracing the power of Stoicism. In this enlightening talk, I'm going to reveal how to hack reality to get anything you want, 10 Stoic core principles. By understanding these principles and incorporating them into your life, you can transform your perspective, build resilience, and unlock your hidden potential. This isn't just about getting what you want, it's about discovering what truly matters and achieving a deep, lasting contentment. So, if you're tired of the same old, ready for real change, and eager to master the game of life, this talk is a must-watch. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this life-altering journey through the wisdom of Stoicism. Today, I want to delve into the first strategy, understanding the dichotomy of control, a fundamental tenet of Stoicism. In our fast-paced world, we often find ourselves entangled in a frantic race against time, trying to control every aspect of our lives. This pursuit generates stress, frustration, and disappointment when we fail to grasp the uncontrollable. Let's pause for a moment and ponder, do we truly control everything that we think we do, or are we merely disillusioned by a sense of false control? This Stoic principle advises us to differentiate between what is within our control and what is not. Stoics divide these elements of life into two categories, things we have complete authority over, such as our actions, responses, and perspectives, and things we have no control over, such as the past, the future, and the actions of others. Let's take a moment to envision this principle in a relatable context. Say you're a passionate tennis player, and you've a significant match coming up. You've been practicing relentlessly, working on your serves, your footwork, and your strategy. The day of the match arrives. You can control your performance, how you serve, how you move, how you respond to your opponent's shots. You're in control of your actions, your attitude, your efforts. But can you control whether it will rain, disrupting the match? Can you control the performance of your opponent? The answer to these questions is a resounding no. These factors fall outside the realm of your control. Now, let's apply this to a broader spectrum of life. Many of us spend countless hours worrying about future events, dwelling on past mistakes, or stressing over how others perceive us. Despite our fixation, we cannot control any of these aspects. The future is uncertain, the past is unchangeable, and the thoughts of others are their own. Attempting to control these uncontrollable elements is like attempting to hold water in our hands. No matter how much we try, it inevitably slips through our fingers. The dichotomy of control encourages us to shift our focus towards elements of life we can indeed influence. It guides us to invest our time and energy efficiently, channeling it into areas where we can make a genuine difference. This Stoic strategy is not about surrendering to fate, nor advocating passivity. It's about the rational allocation of our resources, about knowing where our efforts will bear fruit and where they'll squander. When we realign our focus and actions towards what is within our control, we empower ourselves. We are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. We become the masters of our own lives. Sometimes, the most profound truths are the simplest ones, and the dichotomy of control is one such truth. Embrace it, and you will see a marked decrease in unnecessary stress and anxiety. You will find the clarity to identify where your efforts are best placed. You will discover a newfound sense of freedom, knowing you're no longer shackled by the uncontrollable. This Stoic principle equips us with a lens to clearly see life as it is, not as we wish it to be. It empowers us to channel our energies productively. It's a beacon of wisdom that illuminates our path towards a calmer, more focused, and more fulfilling life. So, let's take the reins of what's within our control. Let's embrace the dichotomy of control and embark on this transformative journey towards personal mastery. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to dive deeper into one of the most profound tenets of Stoicism, living according to nature. Now, you might be wondering, what does living according to nature truly mean? And how could it possibly help us hack reality? When Stoics talk about living according to nature, they do not just mean enjoying the outdoors, eating healthy, or living sustainably, although those are wonderful habits. The Stoic view of nature is far more encompassing, bearing philosophical connotations. Living according to nature, in Stoic terms, means acknowledging the rhythm of life, accepting the natural order of things, and responding accordingly. It's about embracing the world as it is, not as we wish it could be. In other words, it's about aligning ourselves with the reality of life, embracing all its ebbs and flows, its peaks and valleys. Consider the 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Each season has its unique characteristics, its beauty, its challenges. We don't resist these alterations. Instead, we adapt. We change our clothing, our activities, our routines to suit each season. Why? Because we understand that these changes are out of our control and that resistance would be futile. We accept that the world does not revolve around our desires, so we adjust ourselves to the world. This concept, my friends, is a powerful metaphor for our lives. Just like the seasons, our lives are filled with changes, pleasant times of happiness, challenging times of hardship, and perhaps periods of monotony. The Stoic approach teaches us to expect these phases, to embrace them as part of our existence, to adapt and flow with them rather than against them. Now, how does this principle help us hack reality? Here is the twist. When we begin to truly live according to nature, we shift our perspective from resisting life's changes to adapting and growing with them. We stop wasting our energy on futile resistance and start utilizing it to improve ourselves, to seize opportunities hidden in challenges, to evolve with every change that life throws at us. Let's take a practical example. Imagine you are running a business, and suddenly, due to unforeseen circumstances, the market crashes. Now, most people would panic, resist, or even give up. But as a Stoic, you, my friends, would see this as a natural shift in the market, an inevitable change that you need to adapt to. You might see this as an opportunity to explore new markets, innovate your products, or perhaps improve your cost efficiency. You accept the reality, adapt to the change, and turn it into an opportunity. That's the power of living according to nature. Living by this principle also promotes inner peace. By accepting life's changes, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress, worry, and disappointment. We become more resilient, more patient, and more content. In conclusion, living according to nature is not about passive acceptance, it's about active adaptation. It's about acknowledging the reality of life, embracing it, and using it to our advantage. It's about becoming the surfer who rides the waves of life with skill and grace, rather than the one who gets swept away by them. So, embrace the change, live according to nature, and watch how you transform challenges into opportunities and life into a beautiful, meaningful journey. Principle 3. Virtue is the highest good. This principle speaks to the soul of Stoicism and touches upon a significant truth that we often overlook in our pursuit of success, wealth, recognition, or pleasure. The principle asserts that the only thing of genuine value in life is being a good person. This might sound simple, but it's surprisingly profound and transformative when you truly embrace it. In our society, we are often led to believe that our worth is tied to our accomplishments, our net worth, our status, or how others perceive us. But Stoicism invites us to shift this perspective and prioritizes moral virtues above all else. What does it mean to be a good person, according to Stoicism? It's not about being perfect, nor about never making a mistake. It's about striving to be just, kind, understanding, respectful, and honest. It's about nurturing qualities like integrity, courage, wisdom, and compassion. It's about treating others the way we would like to be treated and standing up for what is right, even when it's not easy or popular. This principle invites us to take a hard look at our values and actions, to question if we're living in alignment with our highest selves. Are we making decisions based on transient desires or deep-seated values? Are we treating people as means to an end or honoring their intrinsic worth? Are we chasing after fleeting pleasures or cultivating enduring happiness? When we live by the principle that virtue is the highest good, we realize that true satisfaction doesn't come from external achievements or possessions. It comes from within, from knowing that we're living in accordance with our deepest values and highest ideals. It's the kind of happiness that no amount of money can buy and no external event can take away. Living by this principle doesn't mean we have to reject wealth, success, or pleasure. Stoicism isn't about denying ourselves the enjoyment of life's offerings. It's about recognizing that these things, while pleasant, are not the ultimate goal. They're not the measure of a life well lived. The real measure is the quality of our character, our capacity to love, to contribute, to grow, and to face life with grace and resilience. This principle also empowers us by teaching us that our happiness is not dependent on external circumstances. We can't always control what happens to us, but we can control who we choose to be in any given situation. We can always choose to act with kindness, to respond with wisdom, to stand up for what's right. By embracing this principle, we also foster healthier relationships and communities. When we value virtue above all else, we bring out the best in ourselves and inspire others to do the same. We create a ripple effect of positivity and mutual respect that can transform families, workplaces, communities, and ultimately, the world. In conclusion, the Stoic principle that virtue is the highest good is a powerful guide for living a meaningful, fulfilling life. It invites us to prioritize character over possessions, values over desires, and long-term happiness over fleeting pleasure. It empowers us to take charge of our happiness and to contribute to a better world. It's a timeless wisdom that can serve as our compass in the journey of life, guiding us towards true fulfillment and profound peace. Strategy number 4 is mindfulness and self-awareness. It's a principle that's not just integral to Stoicism, but has also been proven beneficial by modern psychology. Let's begin by addressing a common misconception. When people hear the term mindfulness, they often associate it with meditation or yoga. While these practices can indeed help cultivate mindfulness, the concept itself is much broader. Mindfulness is about being fully present and engaged in the moment, being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment or distraction. Think about the last time you were eating your favorite meal. Were you truly savoring every bite, relishing the textures and flavors? Or were you watching TV, scrolling on your phone, or pondering about work? In our fast-paced world, moments like these are common. We're physically present, but our minds are miles away. This is where mindfulness comes in. When you're mindful, you're not just existing, you're truly living. You're not just doing things, you're experiencing them. And this heightened state of awareness does not just enrich our experiences, it can also significantly improve our decision-making, relationships, and overall well-being. Self-awareness, on the other hand, is about understanding ourselves better. It's about acknowledging our strengths and weaknesses, our passions and fears, our desires and aversions. It's about being honest with ourselves, without judgment or denial. So why is this principle so important for hacking reality and getting what you want? Well, the answer lies in its transformative potential. When we're mindful, we're not just reacting to life impulsively. We're responding to it consciously. We're making decisions that align with our values and goals, not just our immediate desires or fears. This means we're more likely to make choices that get us closer to what we truly want, rather than ones that lead to regret or dissatisfaction. Similarly, when we're self-aware, we can align our actions with our true nature. We can pursue goals that bring us genuine happiness, not ones dictated by societal expectations or external pressures. We can recognize what we're genuinely good at, passionate about, and enjoy doing, and then leverage these traits to achieve our goals. Moreover, mindfulness and self-awareness empower us to take control of our thoughts and emotions. We can catch negative thoughts before they spiral into anxiety or depression. We can manage stress more effectively. We can nurture positive emotions like gratitude and joy, thereby enhancing our happiness and well-being. In short, mindfulness and self-awareness enable us to live more consciously, authentically, and joyfully. They transform our relationship with ourselves, others, and the world around us. They put us in the driver's seat of our lives, allowing us to steer it in the direction we truly desire. So how can you cultivate these qualities? Start small. Begin by committing to spend a few minutes each day in silence, just observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Practice mindful eating or mindful walking. Slow down and fully engage in whatever you're doing, be it washing dishes or attending a meeting. Over time, these practices will help you become more mindful and self-aware, thereby enabling you to live more consciously and joyfully. Before we move on to the next principle, I want to invite you to join this journey towards a more fulfilling life. Simply hit that subscribe button, and let's continue exploring the path to life mastery together. I am thrilled to dive more deeply into strategy number 5, acceptance of fate. Now, I understand the term fate can sometimes feel a bit heavy, perhaps even a touch fatalistic. However, in the Stoic sense, acknowledging and embracing fate is not about passivity or resignation. It's about having the wisdom to distinguish between what we can change and what we cannot. It is about embracing the unpredictable nature of life with grace and courage. Let's illustrate this with an example that everyone can relate to: traffic. You're on your way to an important meeting when suddenly you're stuck in traffic. Honking won't clear the way. Getting frustrated won't make the cars disappear. You can't control the traffic, but you can control your reaction to it. You can use this time to listen to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or simply enjoy a moment of quiet. This is acceptance of fate. It's about transforming what appears to be an obstacle into an opportunity. Stoics believe that our universe is not random but operates according to a rational and interconnected system. It's like a giant web where everything is interconnected. Your actions, your choices, your life, they're all threads within this grand tapestry. Some threads you can control and move, and others you can't. Acceptance of fate is about understanding this intricate dance between control and surrender. This acceptance is not an invitation to stop trying or to stop making efforts, but rather a call to redirect those efforts where they matter most and where they can bring real change. It's about investing our energy into things we have in our control, our attitudes, our reactions, our kindness to others, our commitment to growth. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." This statement may sound counterintuitive, especially in a culture that highly values control and predictability. But think about it, how much stress and anxiety in our lives is born out of our resistance to reality, our fight against the current of life. By practicing acceptance of fate, we can free ourselves from these self-imposed chains. We can learn to surf the wave of life instead of trying to stop it. We can replace our anxiety with serenity, our frustration with gratitude, our fear with courage. But how can we cultivate this acceptance of fate? It begins with awareness. Notice when you're resisting reality, when you're creating unnecessary suffering by wishing things were different. Then, gently remind yourself, this is what I can't control. Let it be. Focus on what you can control, your actions, your thoughts, your responses. Adopting this Stoic principle doesn't mean we won't experience pain, loss, or setbacks, but it equips us with the tools to navigate these storms with a resilient spirit. It helps us to find peace amid chaos, to find strength within challenges, and to carve a path of serenity within the often tumultuous journey of life. Acceptance of fate is about embracing life in its entirety, the joys, the sorrows, the mundane, and the extraordinary. It's a call to live more deeply, more fully, with a heart wide open to the grand spectacle of existence. Apply this principle, and you will not just passively accept your fate, you will actively create your destiny within the beautiful, mysterious unfolding of life. Sure, let's delve deeper into strategy number 6, emotional resilience. Imagine you're a ship. You're sailing through life's vast and unpredictable ocean, sometimes gliding through serene, sunny days, and other times being tossed about by savage, stormy seas. As the ship, you can't control the weather, but you can control how you navigate through it. This analogy encapsulates emotional resilience, a core Stoic principle and an indispensable tool that enables us to weather life's inevitable storms. Emotional resilience is not about avoiding life's challenges or suppressing our feelings. It's about learning to navigate through trials and tribulations with strength, grace, and equanimity. It's about understanding that hardship, failure, and adversity are as much a part of life as success, joy, and triumph. Each has its own place and purpose, and each contributes to our growth in unique ways. In the face of adversity, emotional resilience helps us keep our composure, maintain our perspective, and bounce back faster. It's what empowers us to stand strong amidst the chaos and strive forward when life pushes us back. Consider this scenario. You've been working on a project for months, putting in long hours and a substantial amount of effort. Despite all your hard work, the project fails. It's easy to succumb to the disappointment and let it define your worth or ability. But emotional resilience encourages a different response. It asks you to acknowledge your disappointment, yes, but not to dwell on it. Instead, reflect on the situation. What went wrong? What can you learn from this experience? How can you use this setback as a stepping stone towards future success? By adopting this perspective, you transform a negative situation into a growth opportunity. Remember, resilience isn't about being unaffected by life's challenges. It's perfectly normal and human to feel upset, angry, or disappointed when things don't go our way. But it's crucial not to let these feelings consume us or dictate our actions. By acknowledging our feelings without being controlled by them, we set the stage for resilience. Emotional resilience also involves maintaining a positive outlook. This doesn't mean ignoring the negative aspects of a situation. It's about effectively managing your mind's focus. Just as a camera lens can shift focus from the foreground to the background, we too can choose where to direct our attention. We can choose to focus on the problems and let them overwhelm us, or we can focus on the solutions and the opportunities they bring. Furthermore, emotional resilience is closely linked to self-belief. Trust in your capability to handle whatever life throws at you. Believe in your strength to overcome obstacles. Remember, you faced challenges before and emerged victorious. Treat every new challenge as a testament to your strength and an opportunity to grow stronger. In conclusion, emotional resilience, a core Stoic principle, is a mental muscle that we can all learn to flex and strengthen. It's about acknowledging our emotions without letting them dictate our actions, learning from our failures, maintaining a positive outlook, and trusting in our strength to overcome adversity. By cultivating emotional resilience, we equip ourselves with the ability to sail through life's stormy seas with courage, grace, and wisdom. It's not about avoiding the storm, it's about learning to dance in the rain. And remember, the most beautiful rainbows often appear after the stormiest weather. Imagine you're standing at the center of a bustling city. As you look around, you start to notice that the buildings, the streets, even the people, they all have something in common. They were all built, shaped, and influenced by the four cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. Life, too, has its own cardinal points, which, according to Stoicism, are wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. They act as our moral compass, guiding us on the path of virtue and fulfillment. Let's set our navigational bearings and explore these cardinal virtues. The first point on our philosophical compass is wisdom. It's not about knowing all the answers but understanding the nature of things, the cause and effect, the nuances of our existence. Wisdom is the ability to differentiate between what's within our control and what's beyond it. It's the understanding that our happiness and peace of mind are up to us, regardless of external circumstances. Wisdom is knowing when to act, when to wait, when to let go. It's the skill we develop to make sound decisions and judgments based on knowledge and understanding. It's the guiding light that illuminates our path. Next, we sail to the point of courage. Now, courage doesn't always mean diving headfirst into danger. Stoically speaking, it's the mental fortitude that allows us to face challenges, to overcome our fears, to stand up for what is right, even when the odds are against us. It's about persisting in the face of adversity, not because we're fearless, but because we choose not to be slaves to our fears. It's about accepting the inevitability of change and daring to step out of our comfort zones. Our compass then points us to justice. Unlike the conventional understanding of justice, which often centers around law and punishment, Stoic justice is about our dealings with other humans. It's about recognizing the inherent value in each person and treating them with fairness and respect. It's about standing up against injustice, not just for ourselves, but for others too. It's about understanding that we are all part of the same human family, and thus, our actions should aim to benefit not just ourselves, but the common good. Lastly, we arrive at temperance, or self-control. This virtue is about moderation and balance. It's about not allowing our desires and impulses to rule us, but rather ruling over them. It's about understanding that while pleasure is not bad in itself, it should not become our master. This is the virtue that helps us resist the allure of instant gratification for the more fulfilling rewards of long-term goals. These cardinal virtues are not standalone islands but interconnected continents on the map of a virtuous life. They interweave, overlap, and reinforce each other. Wisdom informs our courage, helping us know when it's right to stand firm or when it's wise to retreat. Justice is guided by wisdom, ensuring our actions contribute to a fair and balanced society. Temperance is exercised through the courage to say no to fleeting pleasures and the wisdom to understand the benefits of restraint. Incorporating these virtues into our lives isn't an overnight affair. It's a continual process, a day-to-day journey of growth and improvement. But once we internalize them, they empower us to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. They equip us with the tools to lead a fulfilling life that's in line with our deepest values. So, let's set our sails and navigate our journey with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance as our leading lights. Today, let's dive deep into strategy number 8, impartial indifference. This principle teaches us that events themselves are not inherently good or bad. It's our judgments and perspectives that assign meaning to them. This might sound a bit abstract, so let's illustrate with an example. Imagine you just lost your job. If you're like most people, your first reaction might be to panic. You may think, this is terrible. How will I pay my bills? What will people think of me? These reactions are understandable, but they're based on automatic judgments that losing your job is a bad thing. Now, consider a different perspective. Maybe this job loss is an opportunity. Perhaps it's a chance to find a job you like better or to start the business you've been dreaming about. Maybe it's the push you needed to reassess your career path or move to a city you've always wanted to live in. From this perspective, losing your job isn't a disaster, it's an exciting turning point. This is the essence of impartial indifference. It's about understanding that every event in our lives, from the seemingly minor to the apparently monumental, can be perceived in multiple ways. It's up to us to choose how we interpret and respond to each event. When you adopt the practice of impartial indifference, you create a buffer between yourself and life's inevitable ups and downs. You become more resilient because you're no longer tossed about by every wave of circumstance. Instead, you're anchored in the knowledge that you can handle whatever comes your way. Impartial indifference doesn't mean becoming emotionless or not caring about anything. It's not about indifference in the sense of apathy. Instead, it's about recognizing that our emotional reactions are often based on conditioned responses and habitual patterns of thought. By questioning these automatic reactions, we can choose more empowering responses. Think of it as a form of mental flexibility. If you've ever done yoga, you know that flexibility isn't about being so loose that you fall over. It's about being adaptable and able to bend without breaking. Similarly, mental flexibility allows you to bend with life's challenges without breaking under their weight. This principle can be transformative in every area of your life. In your career, it can help you to see setbacks as opportunities. In relationships, it can enable you to move beyond conflict and misunderstanding. In your personal growth, it can facilitate greater self-awareness and self-compassion. So how can we begin to cultivate impartial indifference? One way is by challenging our initial reactions to events. When something happens, take a moment to observe your automatic thoughts and feelings. Ask yourself, is there another way to view the situation? Another technique is to practice mindfulness. By staying present and fully engaged with what's happening right now, we can prevent ourselves from getting caught up in stories about what an event means or what might happen next. It's also helpful to expose yourself to different perspectives. This can be as simple as reading a book or watching a film that challenges your usual way of thinking. Or it can involve actively seeking out people with different viewpoints and experiences. In short, impartial indifference is a powerful tool for personal growth and resilience. It's a way of engaging with life that acknowledges the complexity and unpredictability of the world while empowering us to choose our responses. It's not always easy, but it's a practice worth pursuing. And as with any practice, the more you do it, the better you'll get. So, I invite you to begin experimenting with impartial indifference today. You might be surprised by how powerful it can be. Principle number 9, preparation and anticipation. It sounds like a military strategy, doesn't it? In fact, it might as well be one. Because like any great strategist, a true Stoic understands the importance of being prepared for what lies ahead and anticipates a range of possible outcomes. This principle is a cornerstone of Stoicism, and it is one that can significantly alter the course of our lives when implemented correctly. So, how can we apply this strategy to our everyday lives? Let's look at this more closely. Think about a tightrope walker. No matter how skilled they are, they would never climb up on that wire without a safety net beneath them. That net is their preparation for a possible fall. They hope they won't need it. They train and practice their skill so they won't need it, but they still have it there, just in case. Now, let's translate this imagery to our lives, where the wire is our pathway and the safety net is our mental and emotional preparation. None of us can predict the future with absolute certainty. We all face the unknown every day. But by preparing for various possibilities and outcomes, we can navigate our way through life with a calmer and more confident mindset. Consider professional athletes as another example. They don't merely show up on the day of the game and hope for the best. They anticipate the moves of their opponents, they study their strategies, and they prepare their bodies and minds relentlessly. They visualize potential scenarios, and they train to respond accordingly. They understand that preparation is the key to success. Now, you might say, I'm not a tightrope walker or a professional athlete. How does this apply to me? Well, let's consider a more relatable scenario. Imagine you're about to have a difficult conversation with your boss or a loved one. If you go into the discussion unprepared, you might feel overwhelmed and intimidated. You might not express your feelings and thoughts effectively. But if you take the time to anticipate their reactions, prepare your points, and emotionally ready yourself for a range of responses, you'll be better equipped to handle the conversation constructively, no matter which direction it takes. This principle of preparation and anticipation enables us to minimize our anxieties about the future. It helps us replace fear with knowledge and uncertainty with a sense of control. We cannot predict the future, but we can prepare for it. The more scenarios we are ready for, the fewer surprises we encounter, and the more effectively we can respond to whatever life throws our way. Remember, we're not merely trying to predict the future. We're not fortune tellers. We're strategists. We're developing a mindset that allows us to deal effectively with any situation we encounter. We prepare ourselves not to avoid failure or hardship, but to be ready to face it head-on, learn from it, and grow stronger through it. The Stoic philosophy encourages us to be active participants in our lives, not just passive observers. By preparing ourselves, we can ensure that we're not just reacting to life as it happens, but actively shaping our responses to it. Let's embrace this wisdom from the Stoics and start preparing and anticipating. It's not about living in fear of what could go wrong. Instead, it's about empowering ourselves with the knowledge and strategies to handle life's challenges with grace, courage, and resilience. That's the essence of Stoic principle number 9, preparation and anticipation. The 10th principle of Stoicism is Amor, Fati, a Latin term that translates to love of fate. This powerful concept isn't just about accepting your fate, but loving it, embracing it, cherishing it, and seeing it as an essential part of your journey. Before we delve deeper into the beauty of Amor, Fati, let's clarify something. Love of fate isn't about resigning yourself to what happens passively. It doesn't encourage complacency or inaction. Instead, it's an active engagement with life. It's a way of looking at each event, each circumstance, each person, and saying, this is exactly what I need at this moment. It may be hard, it may be painful, but I recognize its value. Consider a tapestry. From a distance, you see a beautiful image, a cohesive whole. But come closer, you'll see individual threads, some dark, some bright, some tangled, some smooth. Each thread is necessary to complete the overall picture. The same applies to our lives. Every experience, every emotion, good or bad, contributes to the amazing tapestry of our existence. Imagine how liberating it would be to look at a setback or hardship and say, I love this too. That's the power of Amor, Fati. It's not masochistic, it's about understanding that even pain, disappointment, and loss have a purpose. They teach us, shape us, make us who we are. They help us appreciate the light by showing us the darkness. Now, this isn't easy. It's a process, a journey, one that requires patience, courage, and a great deal of introspection. But the beauty of it is that every step you take towards loving your fate, every time you choose to see the value in a painful experience, you become more resilient, more grounded, more in tune with the essence of life. Start by taking small steps. When you face a challenge, pause. Instead of reacting, take a deep breath. Look at the situation objectively. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this contribute to my growth? Gradually, you'll find your perspective shifting. You'll start seeing challenges as opportunities, setbacks as lessons. Remember, there's no such thing as a life devoid of hardships. Even the most successful people have faced failures, disappointments, and losses. But what sets them apart is their response to these challenges. They embrace them, learn from them, and use them as stepping stones towards their goals. Loving your fate is about celebrating the whole spectrum of human experience. It's about understanding that the path to happiness and fulfillment isn't a straight line, but a winding road filled with ups and downs, twists and turns. It's about finding joy not just in the destination, but in the journey itself. This principle isn't just about facing personal challenges. It extends to our view of the world. The world isn't perfect. It's filled with injustice, suffering, and chaos. But it also has beauty, kindness, and love. By embracing the Amor, Fati, we learn to see the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. We learn to appreciate the beauty, work towards alleviating the suffering, and find peace amidst the chaos. In conclusion, Amor, Fati is a powerful strategy to hack reality. It's a path towards resilience, peace, and deep contentment. It's about embracing the world as it is, embracing ourselves as we are, and finding joy in the journey of life. It's the realization that every moment is exactly what it needs to be, and it's exactly where you are supposed to be. So, let's embark on this beautiful journey of loving our fate, one moment at a time. Let's celebrate the good times, learn from the challenging times, and cherish the quiet, ordinary moments in between. Because in the end, it's all a part of the amazing, beautiful, and incredible tapestry of life. And every single thread matters. Even the darkest thread has the power to make the brighter ones shine more. That's the power of Amor, Fati. That's the power of love of fate.